Welcome to the Finance Village podcast, where we navigate the dynamic relationship between financial professionals, their industry, and the clients they serve in an ever-changing landscape. Let's begin. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Finance Village. Today, we are going to be talking about building value, strategies to maximize your book of business from day one. I am your host, Sheldon Bro, my co-host, Sean Adeyemi. As with many financial advisors these days, Sean himself is looking at purchasing more books of business. And like many books of businesses, there is a lot of goodwill or assumptions around goodwill or speculation around goodwill as to, are these really your clients? Clients, for most businesses, can go to a different pizza shop, go to a different financial advisor, switch to a different software at any time. So there's a lot of speculation around goodwill. On the advisor side, some of those key metrics would be the number of clients that you have, which sometimes a big number sounds good, but it may not be something that you as an advisor want, or even a client wants in an advisor, because now you have if you don't have the right resources and the right support and associates and assistants to assist you with that, now you've just got a monster book of business. You don't have a focused book of business, so that can be an impact there. Obviously, the assets under management, or AUM, aka how much money are you managing, or how many insurance policies do you have? What's the revenue per client? The client retention rates, with many advisors may not even have that kind of clear statistics around their book of business. So let's talk about the goodwill for a moment. Give me a little bit about your thoughts on goodwill and kind of how you think some of the best ways to establish that.
I would say most advisors probably have less goodwill than they think they have, and myself included, because we like to think we're all that in a slice of bread, and that our clients love us, and maybe to a degree that is true. But at the same time, it's probably less than we think. Like when, as an advisor, there is a requirement that in order for your goodwill to really mean something, there needs to be that consistent touch point with the client. Because as opposed to a mortgage business or any other business, the advising relationship is more guiding them through life, guiding them through the financial decisions they make through as they transition through different phases of their lives, from raising kids to kids going to college to thinking about retirements to buying homes to selling homes. So there are a lot more touch points an advisor has to interact with the client and build that relationship, because that relationship is really what the goodwill is. The level to which the advisor is involved with their clients' lives in making these decisions determine the level of goodwill, or how deep that goodwill is.
But what about those advisors that will try to argue with you, Sean, and say, well, no, they don't care if I know, what school their daughter goes to and the sport she plays. They want me to manage their money and they want me to do a good job at that. And as long as I'm getting a return and blah, 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 blah.
I think that's a race to the bottom, because at the end of the day, any advisor can, for an advisor, hanging your hat on performance of their investments is a very fickle game to play, because the reality is the investment industry is constantly changing. Everybody's claiming they can get the best return. And we know that's not true over long term, which is probably a different conversation for another podcast on active versus passive management, right? So as an advisor, if you're claiming that you can give them the moon and back and you can offer all these great returns, manage the investments, and another advisor comes in and shows they can do the same consistently over time, then that relationship isn't really that deep.
The easiest client to take from an advisor is the advisor that has had their client the longest. Isn't that interesting?
That's right.
Because we stop looking at providing more value. We get comfy, we get complacent.
I mean, a part of what I was alluding to is there has to be such a deep intertwined relationship with the client that they know you know them very well, and they trust you, and there's that consistent touch point. And unfortunately for clients, it's like, what have you done for me lately?
What are some of the other things, Sean, that we can do as a what have you done for me lately?
I think sometimes is using information the client gives you to build a better profile of them. Examples are even things like personalized gifts, right? You know your client loves to cook, and let's say you get them something as simple as a a customized chopping board that they use in the kitchen because you know they love
Doesn't
to
have to be
cook.
expensive, right? It
Doesn't
can be
have
a
to be
wooden spoon.
expensive,
Be a nice wooden
right?
spoon. $5.
Those simple things that show that personal touch with the client. And each client is going to be unique. Each client is going to be different, but you won't know what to do or how to serve those clients unless you're getting this information from them. And I can't stop harping on that.
One of the things that you can do to add value to your book of business that I think is not implemented enough, we talk about it on a lot of our episodes, is, niche marketing, obviously, having something that's more specialized rather than being a generalist is more needed. 92% of people trust referrals from people they know. But there's a better way to make those introductions. Wrap your arms around your client with your professional team. Join your client's team free today. PocketFinance.com.